how become that you started work with P.J.Proby?
I was a really, really big fan of P.J.Proby's. I loved his voice and his records, and my guitarist Neil had already been working with him, doing some writing and working on some songs with him. And when he told me he was working with P.J.Proby, I really wanted to meet him. So I went to see him in a show he was performing in London about Roy Orbison, and he was actually making a guest appearance as himself, singing a medley of songs. And I just thought he was so brilliant that I went to see him backstage afterwards and said I would love to help him work on a record, maybe write some songs with him, maybe do a duet, and that's how it started. But I remember him from my youth, really. He made such an impression on me when I was young, on the British TV shows, singing songs like Somewhere and Maria, and I always thought about him and remembered this incredible character with this incredible voice.
Yeah.
I think working with PJ, as we call him, I think he's a fantastic, difficult person, you know. He's this one side, he's this really incredible, this incredible persona, this incredible voice, almost like this genius that can't contain itself in a way. And on the other side of him, he's completely impossible. So he's so it's always these two sides of him, you know, this fantastic side. You think, oh, when he opens his mouth to sing, when you can get him to sing, because it's not always easy, it's rewarding. Every other time, it's like just to get him into the studio or get him in front of a microphone or to get him to sing, it's an ordeal. You have to go through this so much trouble to do this, you know. But that's what makes him so great. That's what makes him so special and so impossible, and that's probably why he's never been a really much bigger star than he is. You know, he's just this impossible person.
Mm-hmm. Do you have any contact with him today?
I haven't seen him for a while since we did the Legend album. I've moved on to do other projects and things, and I think the project with P.J.Proby took up quite a while, took up a lot of time, and it was very, very draining to do at the end of the day. And I think Neil and I lost some friends in the record company because of it, you know, because at the end of the day, PJ, he didn't really want to do things the record company wanted him to do, and he had his own way of doing things, and then the money ran out, as often happens, and it was an album that was really fraught with a lot of difficulties that went on behind the scenes, but it was very rewarding as well. It was a fantastic adventure working with him, and I don't regret it for a single minute, but I think it was time to move on and to do some other things.
Yeah. I think it's almost a tragedy that you can't buy Legend in the shops.
It's such a shame, because it's one of my favourite things that I've ever done, and I think the song that, you know, I wrote a couple of songs for him on the album, I'm Coming Back, A Devil in Red Velvet, which is based after a picture that he gave me of himself. In the 60s he used to be famous for his red velvet suits, and I wrote this kind of almost a pastiche song sort of based on this image of P.J.Proby as this devil in red velvet, but also there's one of my favourite songs is Suburban Opera, which is a song I originally wrote as a duet for P.J. and myself to sing, and it's one of my favourite songs that I've ever written, and when I heard him sing the whole song, I didn't want to do it as a duet, because he sang the whole thing so brilliantly, and it was so poignant and such a great vocal from him that it really belongs to him, I think. Yeah. Though I would like to sing it myself sometime, but not as a duet. You know, to hear him sing it on his own, I didn't want to wanted him to give the song on his own, and maybe I'll sing it on my own some other time.
Yeah. Do you think it will be impossible to plan for another project with him in the future?
Impossible.
Impossible.
Yeah. I mean, impossible. I think the one project was enough. I think that's one to do with anybody. I think, you know, as an artist myself, I have to move on and do other things. And it's amazing. A lot of other singers, you know, afterwards heard this record and said, "Oh, you know, we'd love to do a record with you, like Legend." And it's a shame people can't get hold of it, and I hope they can, because I really think it's a great album. I'm very proud of this record. It's one of the best things that I've been involved in, I think.
Yes. It's very strange that it didn't get more popular. It was a hit. I think it could be the correct time when it was the millennium, and so you could use Yesterday's Gone like a good video for.
That's what we were hoping, you know, but. I think it just didn't happen. I think EMI was so fed up with P.J.Proby at that time. You know, they just had enough of him. He used to go into the record company and shout at people and be his fantastic, impossible self.
Yeah.
And so I think that EMI had really had enough of the record by then, and they didn't really put their heart and soul into the promotion of it. And that's what happens, I think, when an artist sometimes doesn't play the game and doesn't rubs the people up the wrong way in the record company, you know, says the wrong things to the wrong people, upsets everybody. The record company go, oh well, we'll just put the record out and we won't promote it. And I think it was a very, very sad thing to happen, really.
Yeah. Did you see the musical with Elvis?
Did I see the musical Elvis? Yes, I did. And that was fantastic because P.J.Proby just took over the entire thing. And ended up being himself really more than anything else, and he hated doing that musical, and we were trying to do the record at the same time as he was doing the musical.
Yeah.
You know, so he needed the musical to pay his rent and everything, but at the same time, so we couldn't get him into the studio, and it was costing us so much money, wasting studio time, and he hated the musical and said, I hate that fucking Elvis musical, you know, I can't stand this music, Elvis, I don't want to hear Elvis again, you know, and so we made him sing 2 Elvis songs on the record, which he was not happy about, you know. And he said, Elvis always never forgave me for stealing his girlfriend, you know. So, it's a PJ for you.
Yeah. Do you have any? Can you give a regards to PJ directly to you think?
Do I?
Some words to PJ directly.
I think that he's a fantastic, just a fantastic, amazing person, and I think I just see a lot of myself in him. I think that's why, because I'm impossible like he can be as well. We're both such very similar artists in so many ways. That's why it was great working with him, and so strange because I saw a lot of myself. I saw myself as the kind of artist that goes into record companies shouting at them and wanting my own way and wanting 40-piece orchestras to be behind me and wanting like this thing done in my way, you know. And like him, I can be very self-destructive, but I think that's what makes him such a genius. That's why I respect him, and that's why I think he's so great. You know, is because he is this real star. He's this incredible star that you just can't hold down, and you can't put in a box, and you can't make him do what you want to do, and you can't mould him and shape him, and he's just one in a million, I think. And I think he'll always be remembered, and I hope he always goes on to find something else to do. I know that, you know, one day I would like to do something with him. You need to have a distance of time, I think.
Because he has a lot of songs that should be recorded, like I Believe, You Never Walk Alone. I think you could do it the right.
Yes. You know, if I could find a record company that would give me the money to do another P.J.Proby album, I would be really happy to do that. But it's difficult. You know, it was difficult for us to. It really was difficult. We got into a lot of trouble with the record company with doing this record because they kind of trusted us, and you know, I just wish that the duet would have been a hit. You know, and it was sad that EMI really kind of, you know, didn't have the faith in the project and didn't really understand PJ for being the artist that he is. You know, we said, look, you know, this is P.J.Proby. He's not going to be easy. He's going to be difficult. You know, he's going to do all these things. He's going to play the drama. He's going to play this, but this is what he is. They go, oh yeah, we love this. You know, we want this. But when the reality came and happened, they just didn't deal with it. You know, and it was very sad.
Mm-hmm.